What's going on, everybody? My name is C4. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're here for a brand new Madden 25 off-season rebuild, where we have the Vegas Raiders, and over the next 5 seasons, and if we got to go in overtime to try and stretch it to get that Super Bowl win, we will. We're going to try and build this team into a Super Bowl contender. Our starting point is at the conclusion of the 2025 NFL Draft. Through the power of PC mods and rosters and creation team, I have a fully updated Vegas Raiders roster. You look at what they did in free agency, right? Couple interesting moves, couple veteran moves on the defensive side of the ball. Landon Roberts, Devin White, you bring Eric Stokes, former first-round pick. You got Jeremy Chin, brings a lot of violence to the defensive side of the ball. No bigger move in free agency than bringing in Geno Smith. But the fact of the matter is Geno Smith going to be the quarterback that leads us to a Super Bowl, or is he going to be kind of the steady hand stopgap that can keep this team somewhat competitive so everyone else around him can develop, and then he can kind of be the guy that allows us to draft a quarterback with our realistic draft classes for 2026 and 2027. I think it's a lot more reasonable to expect that that is going to be best case scenario, and that is a situation that I fully embrace. I'm very excited to see what quarterbacks could potentially fall to us, or maybe a quarterback that we need to be aggressive and trade up for that can be that missing franchise piece for this Vegas Raiders team. I'm very public that the Vegas Raiders are a team I'm strongly considering for our main channel Madden 26 franchise mode, and a big reason of that is not only the interesting quarterback spot, but how they handled the 2025 NFL Draft. On the offensive line, they got Charles Grant and Rodgers. Both these guys, very athletic. Both these guys were in consideration for my Philadelphia Eagles, so I've been well aware of what they bring to the table. They just decided also, we're going to get Deontay Thornton, a very shout out to Al Davis pick. 6'5", 97 speed, 96 acceleration wide receiver. I actually think the last realistic rebuild we did with the Vegas Raiders, we ended up getting him and a DB that they actually got in real life. So that's kind of funny, but I mean, he's definitely going to be utilized here. Drafted Jack Bech out of TCU, who's one of the best stories in all of football. Can't help but root for him. For like an interesting gadget player, you got Tommy Below, who's put up one of the most insane testing numbers I've seen for a quarterback in quite some time. 92 speed, 93 acceleration, 94 jump, and making the conversion from quarterback to wide receiver, but you can get really creative with how you want to line him up. Also went out and got JJ Pegues, who is legitimately an offensive weapon. He plays both sides of the football, but played a considerable amount of snaps on offense. 6'2", 325-pound fullback. That's going to be fun. Amongst some other depth pieces on the defensive side of the ball, the headliner is Darien Porter, 6'4", 200-pound corner out of Iowa State, who has 97 speed, 95 acceleration, 94 agility, and has all the capabilities to be an outside starting corner in the NFL with undeniable speed. Very excited to play with him. I think he can develop into an absolute ball hawk. To cap it all off, they get maybe, probably, likely, the pound-for-pound most talented player from the 2025 draft class. That is Ashton Jeanty, the running back from Boise. I'm going to put the C on his chest already. I mean, this guy's unstoppable. It's one of those things you think thinking about fantasy football. Is he going to go in the first? He's probably going to go in the first round. He is that dynamic. I think not enough credit as a do-it-all receiving back. 2 years ago at Boise State, he was putting up as good receiving numbers as any running back in college football. Undeniable talent, great athlete, impossible to bring down, and he's going to be the centerpiece for this team going forward. I think that is why I'm fine having Geno Smith for the first couple of years until we can draft a proper, elevator. You know what I'm saying? That quarterback, guy that's going to elevate this franchise. It's probably not going to be Geno Smith, but for the time being, Geno won't hurt. And we're going to let this offense run through Ashton Jeanty. I think that's going to be the plan for the Raiders in real life. We got a lot of work to do. I've rebuilt the Raiders before, so there's some things I'm going to carry over from those rebuilds that I think will have a lot of success. One is we're going to put Brock Bowers in the slot, because you have Michael Mayer's great depth. Could be a trade piece before the regular season starts off, but for how this team is built, our passing offense has to go through Brock Bowers, and I find like making your slot wide receiver, this is one of those teams and systems that kind of feeds through the slot wide receiver. I think that's the best way, the most accurate way to get Brock Bowers the amount of touches and looks that he rightfully deserves. And I think it's also a reflection of our current wide receiver room. No one else even holds a candle to the receiving talent that Brock Bowers has, so we need to funnel it through him. We have Trey Tucker speed, Thornton speed, Myers is a reliable wide receiver too. But as long as we can get a good rhythm where this offense goes through Jeanty and Bowers for the time being, we might surprise a couple people. Could be in contention for a wild card spot here in year one. But without further ado, let's get into it. Now, not to just treat Geno Smith as an afterthought, but we might need to rely on him a little bit longer. You look at the quarterback class next year, there are 3 guys that are kind of in the discussion for a first rounder. We have Arch Manning and like Lenore Sellers. Those guys are going 2027, which are also going to use that class. But for 2026, you have Drew Aller, who ticks the boxes of everything you want for a franchise quarterback, just needs to have a really strong season and elevate himself at Penn State. You have Nussmeier, who's kind of a tweener. Like, he'd be a guy that I could see having a strong year at LSU and go in the first round. I could see him having an average year at LSU and going like the 4th round. So we got to get a true vibe there. Klubnik is a guy I like a lot more than most. Former 5-star recruit. Put it all together last year at Clemson. He could be a guy, especially if the talent, like we'll scout him, comes out good. I could pull the trigger there and have him maybe sit behind Geno Smith for a season, because we do have Geno under contract for the next 2 seasons. But I do think with quarterback being such a topic of debate for this Raiders team going forward and what they look like for the next 5 years, I might have an argument to be made. Our best case could go BPA year, go Geno for another season, 2 years, and then look at 2027 for a quarterback. So at midseason, we are 3-6. Tail of the tape is we've beat the teams we were supposed to beat. One of those wins was the Chiefs, and then we've lost against kind of every good team that's come along the ways, but we're a team that's still trying to really figure out their identity. We have more than enough salary cap. We're nowhere near ready to like be a team that's competing. So looking at where we're at as a team going forward, we have both of our special teamers are solid, but is that really where we want to be spending our money right now? We have Jordan Meredith at guard, who's not bad, but we got some youth on the O-line on rookie contracts that could be a little bit more. I think Parham, something like that, a 3-year, 19. Okay, we'll take him. We'll keep him on the O-line. We'll completely have a revolving door there. Eric Stokes. Does have his dev trait. I don't hate a 2-year deal, because even if we can find bigger and better corners, it's not going to hurt having him as dev. Colt Miller should be a nice contract there. 3-year, 46.5. But other than that, I think we're going to have a lot of roster turnover. We're going to have more than enough of a war chest to hit free agency next year. But everyone knows, if I'm rebuilding your team, we're not building through free agency. We'll use free agency to supplement some things. But I'm looking forward towards the next couple drafts. So the end of year number 1, I'm going to say about as expected, 6-11. I think the state of this Raiders roster, they could go on a Cinderella playoff run, maybe get a little bit better than expected out of Geno Smith, rely on their run game to an extent. However, that's not the case here, as we're kind of middle of the mall in about everything. 3,700 yards, 27 touchdowns, not bad. 21 picks, way too many for Geno Smith. We don't have a whole lot at wide receiver. We are very much just Brock Bowers, throw the football to Brock Bowers. So I don't think Geno Smith's necessarily in the position to light the league up. Doesn't have DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Tyler Lockett, what he had when he kind of completed his career turnaround, don't write back with the Seahawks. But even then, you don't have like super high expectations of Geno Smith. This is not what we're looking for. Running the ball, Ashton Jeanty, 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns, will firmly be in the Offensive Rookie of the Year discussion. Now, his dev trait is another thing up for discussion. Superstar dev for the Boise State legend. Do you think he'll be an X factor in Madden 26? I feel like he'll probably get superstar, because they love to undersell these guys. But if they give him an X factor, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of people complaining. He literally came off the most dominating running back season we've seen since Barry Sanders. So hopefully we get Offensive Rookie of the Year, and hopefully he ends this year as an X factor. From a receiving standpoint, we did get Brock Bowers over 1,000 yards and 13 touchdowns. Exactly what we're looking for. Put him in the slot so he can be the focal point of this passing offense. And that worked out. Just under 1,000 yards for Trey Tucker. That's impressive. Jacoby Myers was solid. Just got nothing out of our rookie class. 100 yards from Jack Bech. Just under 300 for Dante Thornton. Need to step up there. Defensively, Landon Roberts over 100 tackles. We got 16 sacks and 11 TFLs for Max Crosby. That ain't bad. 11 sacks for Tyree Wilson. A little bit of a breakout. Slow burn. Maybe a guy that under Pete Carroll knows how to work up a defense or two. Maybe Tyree Wilson could finally live up to the hype of the former first-round pick out of Texas Tech. There's a lot of traits there that you like. Very disappointed with the numbers out of Christian Wilkins, though. 10 TFLs, 3 sacks for one of the most expensive players on our roster is certainly underperforming. Interception numbers led by Devin White. Don't love that. Only 1 pick for Stokes and 1 pick for Darien Porter. For award winners, Jeanty wins Offensive Rookie of the Year, so that will be fingers crossed for a dev trade increase. We also get D Lineman of the Year going to Max Crosby. The bummer at the end of the year is we did get the Rookie of the Year, but unfortunately no dev trait increase for Jeanty, so he ends his rookie campaign as a superstar. It could be worse. Right? He could be some bad created draft class, and he's only a star dev or something like that. We did gain dev trait on the defensive side to Devin White, but does that really move the needle? Not really. We wanted... I got Tyree Wilson, who had a nice little breakout year. That would have been sick for him to get a dev trait, but of course, we can't have nice things. And my punter flips me the bird on the way out, trying to be like, you know what, I'll keep our special teamers intact. Nope, screw it. Draft a punter and kicker. We had our first free agency. The good news is we had a lot of money to play with. So we are throwing around our weight in free agency on the open market. We're looking at Kobe Dean. We need maybe 3 new linebackers. I'm going to start by paying 1, and then we're going to look towards the draft maybe to facilitate the rest. Because really, you can get by with 2 linebackers, especially if you run a lot of subs. So we're looking at Kobe Dean, 25.78 normal, but still plenty of opportunity to hit that star dev and strap the rocket to his development. After the Philadelphia Eagles drafted Jahad Campbell with the Kobe Dean's injury history, makes sense that he hit the open market, so he'd be interest. We're going to show a little Al Davis here with Jameson Williams. We need a true wide receiver. I love the offense if it can go through Brock Bowers and Ashton Jeanty, but we also just need that wide receiver one. And I feel like a very interesting opportunity. Jameson Williams, not overly expensive for 84.25 star, looking around $14 million per year, has interest in our program. So that's cool. And here's a little bit of a Hail Mary. We have a competitive offer for Trent McDuffie, 25 years old, 97 with a superstar dev, trying to steal him away from the Kansas City Chiefs. We don't get him. It's not the end of the world. I don't really love the idea, year 1 of a rebuild, spending like I think our offer is $24.5 million a year on a player. But there's an argument to be made that Trent Duffy, you can live with that. You can sleep with that at night, and that's a contract that you're more than willing to deal with going forward. Because, I mean, we have a very expensive quarterback for like a year, and then the plan is eventually get a rookie quarterback contract on the books so you can, live with this contract. Oh, I almost want to pay a little bit more because of that. And we go like 9 to 17.5, 160. I mean, McDuffie's so good. We also had Aiden Hudson was potentially available, but I don't want so much money. Like, I think paying Aiden Hudson and Max Crosby, that's just too much at pass rush. Karlaftis is there. The good news is, like, the Chiefs are going to be taking quite a big hit in the division. But I think these should be the big 3 that we go after. We still might not get them, but I'm pretty confident in Dean and Jameson Williams. And that's kind of how it played out. Jameson Williams and Nakobe Dean. Trent McDuffie chooses the Niners. Less money. 5-year, $110 million. I offered $150. Okay. We'll remember that. Aiden Hutchinson on the Rams. Okay. So taking a look at the final mock draft. We have pick number 5. I'm kind of looking at guys who are going to be available a little bit later on. Caleb Downs is a top 5 talent. I did use one of my 3 focus scouts on him. Did not think he was falling all the way to 26. Because, are you drafting a safety at 5? I would love to get a pass rusher, but the 2 top pass rushers that I did focus scout, Ruben Bain and TJ Parker, are going to be gone. Because of course they are. So we got Harold Perkins, who's kind of like a hybrid. I can live with that. If our coach likes it, I can live with that. But we also had like the breakout of Tyree Wilson, right? And the argument can be made that maybe D tackle's bigger need, but we just use Peter Woods in a rebuild, and every rebuild is independent of one another. But when they've only done, Browns and Jags, don't really want to be reusing players that early. So I think you might be able to make the argument, honestly, that like, okay, Anthony Hill's baller, that our next best need could be just saying screw it and going Caleb Downs, get the best player available. And looking at the quarterbacks, Drew Aller's the top QB here. And he's going at 25. So like our second round, we might be able to grab like a Nussmeier or a Cade Klubnik, like the second tier quarterbacks that still have a lot of talent. We could get those maybe in the second round, which would be interesting. All right, so all the pass rushers go. We do have Harold Perkins there, but again, niche. But Mateo Uyunglele goes at 4, TJ Parker at 3, Ruben Bain at 1. And I would probably make the argument at 5 for our roster. Well, yes, we have the pick of the litter at quarterback. I would probably go one of those pass rushers, Parker or Bain. So, I mean, if we're going to go with the idea that, like, Caleb Downs could be our option, which I think looking at the available players, absolutely an argument can be made. But he's falling to 26. So, like, we could trade back into the 10 teens, somewhere in that range, and still likely get downs. What kind of value could we get outside of that? Now, we are passing up the opportunity for the top quarterback. And again, if Nussmeier's still there in the second round, Cade Klubnik with a second, third round talent, I could live with that. Even Tylen Green from Arkansas, 6'6", with a cannon of an arm and 4.5 speed. That'd be a nice developmental option. But I'd definitely say right now, looking at the big board, Cade Klubnik's there in the second round. That might be the play. So can we trade back? Anybody want to? I mean, we got a top 5 pick. That is very valuable. This is kind of the tipping off point. If anybody wants a quarterback, so we could trade back to 17 and pick up a second from Seattle. That's not, you ain't paying enough there. We have the Saints offering us a first, going back to 25. I will say I'm a little worried that Caleb Downs going to 26. That could be the perfect pick, because we also pick up a future first in 2027. That's once we get to the Madden generated classes, which we should be able to do a lot of work there. 29, no, too far back. 32, too far back. 26, and then a first next year. Oh, man. Do we play with fire? That's the question. Do we play with fire and trust the final mock draft that Caleb Downs would still be there? Oh, I don't know. All right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this because we're in a considerable rebuild. And I think we get into the teens, and then we look at what it would cost trading up, because now we have that extra first next year. I think a second rounder becomes a little bit more disposable. To make it more realistic, the Saints did trade up for the top quarterback in Drew Aller, so that makes sense for them to want to pay those 2 first rounders. Very realistic of them. All right, so we waited and waited and waited all the way to pick 21. So to move up 4 spots, I offered a 3rd round pick in 2 years' time and a 4th round pick next year. We have 2 4th rounders in 2026, so it's, we have 2 first rounders in 2027. So we paid a nice price, but there are years that were kind of at least somewhat deemed a surplus to ensure that we could still get the guy that I likely was going to target at 5. This is a perfect scenario. It's a lot more reasonable value getting a safety here, and Caleb Downs ends up being the #1 player in the class at 21. Dev trait, 91 acceleration, 92 speed, 94 jumping. He's going to transform this defense. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Cade Klubnik goes pick 1 of the 2nd round to the Jets. Oh, dude, that's a bummer. That's who I wanted. That was my plan. My plan all along. You want to pull behind the curtain. Okay, Ashton Jeanty's making the thumbnail. Cade Klubnik, probably like the best, like doesn't even make the thumbnail quarterback, but gives me like developmental option. Don't know if he has a dev trait. I'll probably have to double check. I don't want to spoil the class. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, well, we still got Tylen Green, who we can look at a later time. 6'6", 220 at Arkansas. Great throw power, 4.5 speed. Day 3 pick, Al Davis selection. So we'll consider that. Oh, that's so annoying. I don't love any of the wideouts still left. You look on the offensive line. Could go guard. DJ Campbell from Texas. Caden Green, Mizzou. What do we got here? A pass block, B run block. Inverse of that on Chase Besantis. DJ Campbell is A pass block. A little bit of a blind pick. Defensively, D tackle is probably actually the biggest need that we need. Lee Hunter, we have Zane Durant from Penn State. Durant is a stud. Very athletic, but he's also, kind of like a big defensive end more than he is a D tackle. Perkins, get some linebackers there. B finesse, B tackle. Pretty good athlete. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure, why not? Zane Durant in the... Oh, my God. Ignore the value. Dev trait, D tackle. We believe in the upside. We're buying the upside. All right, I got a plan. It might not work out. I hope it does. We still need linebacker help. So I'm going to look at Ben Roberts here from Texas Tech. A block shed, B zone coverage, C tackle, combine, good speed, elite jumping, great changer. I mean, just everything is ticking the boxes here. I'm going to draft him here. 110 in true value at 69. We do get the dev trait. Love that. And then I'm going to try to trade back into the 3rd round to come grab a developmental quarterback. You know what? I want Taylor Green. I'm not seeing a team here that's going to draft a quarterback. Jets are good. Rams are good. Texans are good. We just saw Drew Aller go to the Saints. Eagles aren't drafting a quarterback. Packers aren't drafting a quarterback. Chiefs aren't drafting a quarterback. Niners aren't drafting a quarterback. Bills aren't drafting a quarterback. Ravens aren't drafting a quarterback. Philly's not drafting a quarterback. Jets already drafted a quarterback. Bucks don't need a quarterback. Falcons don't need a quarterback. Titans don't need a quarterback. And the Raiders play the waiting game. And this is the perfect spot because all along, Taylor Green's interesting. If there's a dev trade here, awesome. We got something that we can nurture behind Geno Smith, and we'll give him a chance. But also, if he's a normal dev, you can live with spending a fourth round pick on a guy that honestly didn't work out. You'd probably be like a tight end convert for 6'6" with 4.5 speed. But if he's not if this ends up not being a great pick, even though we have scouting, 3rd, 4th round talent, he's not going to be a bust. You can draft the quarterback in the 4th round, and then next year draft the quarterback in the 1st round, and not be like, oh, this is you're memeing like the Browns with the quarterback room. So we're gonna go Taylor Green here. Let's see what we have. 100 in true value at 101, so that's awesome. Value is on point. No dev trade. We got 93 throw power, 91 acceleration, 88 speed on the 6'6" quarterback, formerly of Boise State. Man, if he would have stayed with Ashton Jeanty, that would have been a cool added storyline here. Because he played with Jeanty at Boise State, then he transferred to Arkansas. Imagine them in the same. How are they not why would you want to stick together with that? Taylor Green and Jeanty in the same backfield. Unstoppable athletes. 5th round, we went Efrisians, Prysock. 181 in true value. Corner. Had A catching, B zone coverage. Fast. 6'3" with 4.3 speed. That's why I drafted him. Dev trade. When we finish this draft, we lost our kicker and punter, so we're going to go with the most kicker name of all time. Atticus Sappington from Oregon. Ends up being a top 50 player in the class. Hilarious. I don't want to choose this one because I've drafted him before. I know he's the best punter in the class. I think we're going to go Brett Thorson, another top 50 player, completely revamping our special teams in one draft. So at the end of the day, you got to love all the pieces that we're able to gain here. Not one. Our lowest rated player is 67 depth tackle. You can live with that. We get 2 70+ special teamers that are going to start day one. We get Prysock 68, not the great rating. Dev trait, height, weight, speed, fits what we're building. Taylor Green 70 overall. Would have been awesome maybe with his athletic profile to roll a dev trait as well. But a developmental quarterback with a lot of upside that could sit behind Geno and make so we don't necessarily have to go quarterback next year. Maybe he could be the future successor. Then in the 3rd round, 70 dev trait linebacker at a huge position need. He's going to start as a rookie for a 3rd rounder. Zane Durant, little bit of a reach for the 2nd round, was in terms of true value being a sub 70 overall player, but very athletic D tackle at a position in need with a dev trait and upside. And then we just end up trading back in the 1st round from pick 5, picking up an additional 1st rounder because the Saints wanted to trade up to get QB1 in their draft. And we get the number 1 overall talent. And we have 2 first-round picks in 2027, which is the first year with Madden-generated classes where you think this draft class is good. Wait till we get to the organic Madden draft classes, and then that's when we'll go to work here a little bit. But all in all, an outstanding class. Love it. So right now, Taylor Green doing a hell of a job in the passing drill. Say, hey, no pressure. Let's just see what you got. It's Geno's team. There's no QB controversy. You think you could get a gold medal? And he said, I'll get you a silver. I'll tell you what. I got more than enough juice in this area if you want. You give me the chance, I'll get you a gold medal. And unfortunately, no gold medal, but a silver's not bad for a rookie. Impressive. Something cool kind of happened in a loss. We're 1-1, so it's, is what it is. Start by Caleb Downs in his second ever NFL start with a 2-pick Player of the Week performance. We got a special player here, fellas. So this is about as good a time as any. Take a little pause. We are 4-1, and not only 4-1, like just playing well. Geno Smith, Player of the Week performance, 4 touchdowns. Max Crosby, Player of the Week performance, 4 sacks. An incredibly hot start. And a lot of these teams, like the Broncos, are a playoff team. Texans are a playoff team. So the Raiders are on fire to start the year. Hopefully we got enough juice to rock and roll to the end of it and not peak. But take a look at some contracts. Man, Tyree Wills, these are interesting ones. I do like Michael Mayer. He's kind of part of the process, right? Because we move Brock Bowers into the slot. I feel like he wants 2.5, 4.5. Like, that'd probably be my limit. 3-year, $21 million. Maybe 22 if you want to push the issue a little bit. Trey Tucker's solid, but the fact that there's no interest there, we already have our deep threat now in Jameson Williams. Jacoby Myers is just, it's a little expensive for a role player. I like Jeremy Chin on a 2-year deal. Maybe we'll bump that up a little bit. Just keep him till he's 30. Don't have to worry about any regression. Locking him in for the foreseeable future. So I'd like to bring back Michael Mayer. I'd like to bring back Tyree Wilson. Last season on a breakout, but this year just not making a lot of plays. I'd pay him for that, not for that. So we'll wait and see till season's end with him. So the interview number 2, progress. 6-11 last year, 10-7 this season. In a year where offensively, kind of around the bubble of a top 10 offense, defensively stepped up, which our defense was terrible. Look at Geno Smith. 42 interceptions, still a little high for my liking, but 42 touchdowns. Last year he had 27. So I guess the addition of Jameson Williams having that pure speed deep threat, really all that changed. I mean, I guess Brock Bowers went from a superstar to an X factor. We will see. Jeanty with a solid year, almost 1,300 yards, 8 touchdowns. Probably, I mean, it's one of those things you want to see maybe a little more out of it. When your quarterback out of nowhere throws for 40, you're probably going to have less rushing touchdowns. Receiving, we get 1,100 yards, 12 touchdowns from Brock Bowers, 11-5 for Jameson Williams, 7-16 for Jacoby Myers. Michael Mayer with 6 touchdowns. Jesus. Of course, Jacoby Myers hitting the open market, and he's in that weird spot. Like, I don't really want to pay him. But we're going to be losing this. I mean, but I'll say logically in my head, I was like, all right, those 16 touchdowns hopefully will shuffle towards Ashton Jeanty. Maybe a positive spin on it. On the defensive side, Jacoby D, 95 tackles. Cool. Sacks front, 24. Well, we just broke the record. That's why Tyree Wilson has no sacks. They all went to Max Crosby, which I'm fine. I think if Christian Wilkins could probably like get 7 or 8, and then Max Crosby does Max Crosby-like things, I'd be pretty happy with. The rookie linebacker Ben Roberts also started. 66 tackles, 3 picks, 2.5 sacks. 3 picks, Darien Porter. I ain't mad with that. 2 picks for Caleb Downs, who is, ladies and gentlemen, a superstar dev trait. So last year, Jeanty was our superstar. Year before that, Brock Bowers was a superstar. We get a 3-year streak of that, adding Caleb Downs to the list. He has done it. Now, it is probably the one record that constantly gets broken all the time. But Max Crosby, as it stands, is the new single-season leader in sacks with 24. Congrats. Some hardware in the offseason, as well as Max Crosby wins Defensive Player of the Year. Ben Roberts wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. Caleb Downs coming in the top 5. Max Crosby also won D-Lineman of the Year. Let team pop it off. I mean, Geno Smith out of nowhere, 40 bomb touchdowns. We have the all-time single-season sack leader. I mean, we could go on a run. We have the makings of a Cinderella team potentially. Not a great role, though, in the wild card round. We get the 12-5 Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens. That's a tough one. Is that your least favorite? Everyone's least favorite is the Chiefs, who awesomely lost. But like, if you're not playing the Chiefs, who would be your next least favorite draw on the AFC side instead of the Sam? Let me know in the comments. I think it's Baltimore. I mean, we got all the familiar faces. So I'd say it's Baltimore or Cincinnati would probably be the next 2. Defense just didn't show up. I mean, hey, not Geno's fault. 3 touchdowns. No picks. Outdueled Lamar Jackson. Run game. I mean, Jeanty doubled Derrick Henry's yards. Just didn't have an answer for Mark Andrews. And defensively, we got where's Max Crosby at? Come on. So end of the year, looking at our dev traits. Offensively, Geno Smith started off. This might be best case scenario. We have one more year left of Geno's contract. He's probably going to retire. Good enough that I don't think we have to draft a quarterback in the first round. And Taylor Green is up to a 73, 23 years old. Like, there's your succession in place. Like, there's not a huge difference in their base overall, but Geno's playing well. And then Green can take over. Yeah, maybe I guess we're burning years of a cheap contract, but that's the least of my worries. The bad news is last year, Ashton Jeanty won Offensive Rookie of the Year, no dev trade increase. This year, Ben Roberts wins Defensive Rookie of the Year, no dev trade increase. We do get a superstar dev on Jeremy Chin, who we got a 2-year contract extension with. Tyree Wilson actually goes up a dev trade as well. Ooh. I'll have to see what that price point is. We have $116 million of salary cap. I mean, if we're calling this realistic, it's under $8 million a year for a guy that got 16 touchdowns. I kind of feel like we got it. And then Tyree Wilson getting the dev trait. I'll offer him this contract. I don't really want to, but 27. This is like remainder of your prime type contract. Nah, wasn't ever going to happen. For free agency, I need guard and DN. Free agency, draft, whatever way it comes. Not a lot of guards in free agency. For DNs, I mean, you just got to pay a big price. Lucas Van Ness, 11 mil for $26.79. Meh. Other side, you get Tyree Wilson, top available. Then you can also look at Nolan Smith. It would be an awesome fit. That's an Al Davis right there, 90 speed edge rusher. But he's looking for $20 million a year. So I think we got to look towards the draft here. Pass rush to go on the other side of Max Crosby. And I'd like to get a guard. Unfortunately, unlike last year, we don't have a top 5 pick that we can navigate and get value for. And Dallas Cowboys just took one of probably the last guy on my board that I scouted, Cassius Howell. Texas A&M pass rusher, because we need... Oh, look at that. Jay Gusa, top 5 project. I thought he was going to be off the board. Still over pick of the litter at quarterback. There will be a point in time that likely all those guys will feature in a rebuild at some point. But with Geno playing the way he does, with how we have our quarterback situation lined up, we can see. So we have Knapp at guard, first, second round talent. He's a second round pick. Could get aggressive there and trade up in the second round. Jagusa, top 5 projected guards, still on the board, but I have no scouting. So I guess the question is, how much better would he be than Knapp? Do we have the full scouting? Both on Notre Dame. Pass rush. Ugh. Oh. He's like very much like an off-ball linebacker, not a pass rusher, Raylan Wilson. Ugh. I mean, I think we just trust our scouting here. A run back, B pass block. Should be good. 26 to 23. There you go. That's great value. Dev trait lineman, day 1 starter for us. Sorry. Yep. Charles Rogers from the draft, original draft class. A lot more upside here. All right, into the second round. I looked at our contracts that are coming up. Who's unlikely to get re-signed? It's a tough one. Because if we go and look at tackle, we have DJ Glaze, 78-25. He'll probably be 80 plus. That's going to be expensive. And we have Josiah Thompson from South Carolina, A pass block, B run block. Have him sit a year, and then we save money at tackle. Or we have Eric Stokes, who's the current starting corner up. And you have DJ McKinney from Colorado, B press, B man, C zone. Not the best combine. If I'm going to be honest with you, I might want to try to get both these dudes. We'll start with Thompson just because the linemen are a little bit cheaper. 34 true value, 55 with a dev trait. Let's go. This corner better have a dev trade. I just overpaid divisional tax for the second round pick of the Chiefs. I give our third round this year, fourth round this year, fifth round this year. So we're pretty much trading the rest of this draft, as well as a fifth round next year, and then a future fourth way down the line, which I'm probably going to forget about. And then 2028, I'm going to be like, how the hell don't we have a fourth round pick? But again, I think at this point in time, with the scouting, with the information that we know, if you just, again, that's just any player. B-man, B-press, C-zone. I need a corner. I'd be trading for that guy every day. And look at that. Value's on point. Maybe not a steal. You'd probably like a steal for the compensation that we just gave up. But 61, as long as there's a dev trade here, you can live with it. I can live with that. And I don't know if Nick Anderson, like, what happened? He arrested? A catching, B catching traffic, A release, 6'4". Combine kind of sucks, but that means 4 or 5 for a 6. Just, this is the 7th round. I'll take him. Sure. So all in all, ends up a pretty light but heavy draft class, if you know what I mean. We get Knapp, 74 dev trade, get a start. We have Thompson, 74 dev trade, going to be a successor, and we'll save money on Glaze, which is probably going to be a $15 million a year contract. McKinney comes in as needed, corner depth for the future. And then we just go BPA. I thought it was a 7th round. 6th round pick, Nick Anderson out of LSU. So there's some good and some bad. The good is I'm going to trust the rookies on the offense. And I'm going to put Glaze up on the trade block. Could get some value. 78-25. We could get someone to overpay for that. That would start on a lot of teams in the NFL. The bad news is I couldn't get our pass rush. So I'm going to put Zane Durant, the 288-pound D tackle, at defensive end. Just out of necessity. We're going to put Peggy's back at D tackle for the time being. But, I mean, if this is the first 2 years or any signs, this whole thing just goes through Max Crosby and we'll be fine. So the Vikings offered me Jeff Okudah, I think it was from a contract standpoint, and a 3rd round pick for DJ Glaze. So I said, hey, whoa. I need a pass rush. You guys get a pass rusher. Dallas Turner just not getting on the field. They've ruined his development in-game. 25-78 normal. 24-76 dev trade. Both these guys in contract years. I'm desperate for pass rush help. And we're not too far off on value. So I wonder if I throw in... Garbage? If I throw in some garbage, will that be enough? I bet if I throw in that pick, though. 4th. Okay. I'll live with that. Works out for both teams. Fresh landing spot, a chance to actually see the field for Dallas Turner. First being a rotational guy. And athletically speaking, very Al Davis. 90-plus speed type player. Dallas Turner, who will start on the other side of Max Crosby. Maybe he will get the production that we've been looking for our DN2. A complimentary option. 91 speed, 93 acceleration. Needs to be refined from a technical standpoint, but I mean, balance, 79 power, 78 finesse. And essentially, he's playing for a new contract extension. Earn it. We'll pay you. Now you get a notable win, especially because we play them twice a year. Needs to bring up in the sim. We beat the Chiefs. Not only beat them, look at that shootout, 42-36. We endured a Patrick Mahomes Player of the Week performance because Max Crosby, 8 tackles, blocked by the webcam, 3 sacks. Let's go. Slightly interesting development here as well is Taylor Green. So I have him. We've done back-to-back years since he's been a rookie. Silver medal in training camp, which has given him +2. So that's +4 from training camp to his base overall. I also have him as one of my 6 focus training players throughout the regular season. So that's 17 weeks of development. And right now, as he becomes a 76 overall as our backup quarterback, he officially has eclipsed Geno Smith, who is a 75. Worth noting, he's now the highest rated quarterback on the roster. Geno Smith's still QB1, but it's a development that needs to be talked about. And we just got one of those insane XP, which is Zane Durant, who at one moment had to be our pass rush specialist on the other side of Max Crosby. Got to go back inside to his more natural D tackle spot. We are week 6, and he just got his 5th sack. 20,000 XP, which is 5 points of upgrade. Now, full disclosure, I'm not going into scheme fit because he's 288. I'm making him an interior pass rush specialist. We started hot last year, kind of simmered down the stretch. Same case here. We are 6-2. Hopefully we don't, what were we last year? 5-2, and we finished 10-7. It's not a bad finish, but it's not, maintaining pace. I'd like to see us maintain pace because we beat a lot of good teams. We beat the Bills. Beat the Falcons, beat the Chiefs. Offensively, pretty good. Defensively, good at least holding the team out of the end zone. Yardage, not the best. Looking at our contracts, $178 million. We're going to start 5-year, 120 for Brock Bowers. Come on. Kidding me? Jackson Powers Johnson. 5-year deal. 47. There we go. He knows what it's about. He's a great agent. Dallas Turner. Where are we at sacks? I mean, we just traded for him. But, I mean, five's not bad. Given what we've seen, knowing that he's an ascending player. 4-year, 52. 53. I feel like we're close on him and Brock Bowers. Splitting hairs. Eric Stokes, we have a lot of depth at corner. Christian Wilkins has been very underwhelming. Now, unless he's like out there making everyone else's job easier, which, I mean, there's a chance, but for a guy that struggled, is it worth $24 million after 1 year? Probably not. You got Gino. I mean, does he have the mentor tag? I feel like he does. I mean, I keep Gino as a mentor. The fact that he wants to come back. I mean, there's no QB. Like, that was the plan all along. So it's $7 million to get another year of extra XP. If and when we go Taylor Green as QB1, I'm here for it. Extra $1 million gets Brock Bowers signed. $500,000 gets Dallas Turner signed. I like Eichenberg at depth. And you know what? We're not going to spend this money anyways. So 1 year for Christian Wilkins. I'm going to go under the assumption he's what makes Max Crosby go. Does the dirty work, eats the double teams. We'll bring him back for 1 more year, even though vastly overpaid for production. Year 3, prove our record. Last year, 10-7. This year, 11-6. I was like, oh man, 11-6. Did we maybe win the division for the first time? It's a chance. At 11-6, number 3 offense, top 10 rushing offense, defense. They're not the best, but back to the division point. Nope, Chiefs went 16-1. So we're dealing with that. Good news is we get the worst division winner, which helps. Take a look at our stats. Geno Smith, definitely not 40 bomb, but 32 touchdowns, 10 picks for a regressing 37, soon to be 37-year-old. I mean, he's definitely exceeded my very low expectation for him coming into this rebuild. He played well. Ashton Jeanty, 1,300 yards, 19 touchdowns. That's what I want to see. We get J-Mo, 1,300 yards, 7 touchdowns. Just under 1,009 for Brock Bowers. Jacoby Myers was solid as a role player. Jeanty, with his 3 receiving touchdowns, goes over 20 total on the year, which is what you want to see. 100 tackles, Nakobe Dean. For a pass rush, we get 24 out of Crosby, 10 out of Wilkins, 8 out of Durant, 6 out of Turner. So Dallas Turner had 5 sacks mid-season, and then in the final 8 games, 1 sack. Annoying, but okay. I mean, he's only 24, so he's only going to get better. If this is his floor as a Raider, very happy with that. Also, very happy I paid Wilkins 1 year because we got in there. Darien Porter, 4 picks. Stokes with 3. Presack with 2. Decent interception numbers. And you just can't even get high. Oh, yeah, Max Crosby just equaled the record-breaking sack season. But 24 sacks, that's the norm. So he gets Defensive Player of the Year and Defensive Lineman of the Year. We also get Ashton Jeanty winning Running Back of the Year. So now here's where you go with Geno. Right? You're going to trust the experience. Is this a final run for him as a starter? How far can he take us in the playoffs against a sub-500 playoff team in the Indianapolis Colts? At least he gets 1. And it's a Player of the Week performance. Both Dallas Turner and Geno Smith. Let's go. Rolling that momentum into an 11-6 Bills divisional matchup against Josh Allen, a top 10 offense, top 10 defense. A real test. A legit battle of 2 playoff contenders. 17-10, low scoring. But look at that. Both quarterbacks negated. Ours did not throw a turnover. I mean, Josh Allen also was a machine. Let's not put that away, but did a great job there. Jacoby Myers, I knew resigning was going to pay back. Sacks, kind of similar. Darien Porter, 5th total pick of the year. Now we're just going to deal with a team that we've beat in the sim. The 16-1 Kansas City Chiefs. We'll upgrade our players here. Mr. Caleb Downs. I've actually been trying to make him a scheme fit, which is probably why he's not into the 90s, but I do think it'll be worth bringing him up to be a perfect scheme fit. Need him with that improvement there. Give me 2 picks on Mahomes. The Cinderella one. Geno Smith in his final year as a starter before he becomes the wise man on the bench. Can he get, I mean, honestly, if he gets to the Super Bowl, I might let him just start next year, to be honest with you. What a run. What? We beat him. 5 touchdowns. 6 from Geno. We beat the Bills 17-10. Just, I mean, always, you know me, but just always played safe. Beat the Bills. And then, dude, unreal. Scored 21 in the fourth. Geno Smith, 5 touchdowns. Dude, he's playing like the QB that we saw last year that went for 40 plus. Forced 2 picks of Mahomes. Geno Smith, 5 tutties, no. Run game was not great. We got hat trick from J-Mo. And then defensively, 11 tackles, Nakobe Dean. 2-1 on the sack department. Stokes and Presock with the picks. And the Raiders in year 3, team-wise, offense, defense, special teams, I think it'd be a little disrespectful to say no chance this team can make a Super Bowl. However, Geno Smith playing like this, a Cinderella Geno Smith run, I'm here for it. And the Super Bowl has been set. 11-6 Raiders, 9-8 Vikings, who we made the trade with way back in week 1. Flipping a tackle for a pass rusher. And now Dallas Turner has a chance to do the coolest thing ever. Now, I'm all here for, the way that we did it. Quarterback, veteran, draft the developmental guy. The natural process of things. But if Geno wins, I think we got to throw that in the trash. And Geno's going to have to be our quarterback next year. But also could be a perfect storybook ending, fairy tale ending. Have him retire if we win. Look at that, Geno. He knows. It's Nick Folesian. That's the only way to call it. It's Nick Folesian. And that Nick Foles run with the Eagles, his maybe second most impressive game was beating the Minnesota Vikings. It is going to be twice that a Super Bowl caliber Vikings team loses to the magic of a former backup quarterback who just goes on a Hall of Fame run. Who are those 2 people? Calling it Super Bowl. Come on, Geno. Come on, Geno. Opening drive tutty for the Raiders. Looks like it's going to be a low-scoring game, which is not going to favor us, I don't think. But 10-10, everything to play for going into the 4th. 3 minutes. Geno, defense, going to stop. Okay, we're just going to see, can Geno Smith get us into field goal range with probably not. No, eats a sack. Unfortunately, we are going to overtime. 17-17. Opening drive ball is with Geno Smith. It's playoff overtime rules. Both teams get a possession. We start 13 yards, Jacoby Myers. Followed up with a Jeanty run. Follow that up with a Jeanty run. Follow that up with a Jeanty run. Oh, Geno run. Does it himself. Ooh. Ooh! Let's go. 14 yards, Brock Bowers. Jeanty, 5 yards. Jeanty, 8 yards. To the 20, a shot. 15 yards. Jonathan Allen's sick and tired of Geno Smith, so I'm going to smash him in the face after the play. And that is an opening drive. Touchdown! Geno does it! This is insane. Come on, defense. Boom. First play. Nothing. Second play. It's over! The Geno Smith... Dude, this is sick. That might be my favorite Super Bowl win. All Madden. All Madden 25. Comes in fucking May. That is awesome. It's Nick Foles. I just got my own little Nick Foles rebuild moment. Geno Smith goes 6 touchdowns to beat the Chiefs in the sim. In the AFC champ. The 16-1 Chiefs. And then he goes, and there's Randy Moss, former Raider. Not a great time during his life. Geno Smith gets Super Bowl MVP. We still got 2 years left. So whatever Geno does, I'm gonna back him. But man, oh man, 3 touchdowns, 2 passing, 1 rushing. Incredible, legendary, historic run. I mean, is he clear cut off, the MVP here? 80%, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Had another run. Yeah, it's got to be. Brock Bowers, Jeanty. Jeanty had a great game defensively. Very quiet, honestly. Low scoring. Got the pick by Presock, who's had a couple nice interceptions, turnovers during this playoff run. But for the fact that we got 50 sacks in the last 2 years from Max Crosby, he's kind of been a ghost during this playoff run. Even more impressive what Gino has done. He ain't quitting yet. Come on, man. He just does that run. You're like, oh, we're going to take his dev trait and nerf him 4 points. Brutal. Don't care. He's our quarterback next year. Jeanty, superstar X Factor after winning a running back of the year. Maybe a little longer than what we would have expected to get that award. But he is now there as he gets very close to being an official member of the 99 Club, joining Brock Bowers. Offensively, I mean, our O-line is set. If I'm looking at where do we got to improve, I mean, you maybe can make the argument like, does another wide receiver take this offense to the next level? I have my doubts. But we have a $100 million plus salary cap, so we'll see what the wide receiver market is. I like our D-line. That's our linebacking core led by N'Kobe Dean Roberts. We just re-signed Eichenberg. Like, there's no weakness there. Our safeties are on point, even though chins get up there in age a little bit, starting to regress. Love our secondary as well. Like, we're in BPA mode, honestly. For the open market, Keon Coleman, don't think that's big enough of an upgrade for me to spend probably 12, 13 per year to get him to come here because there's no interest outside of that. It's like, all right, you got Fisk. That could be interesting. He played D tackle for us, but we just brought back Wilkins on a 1 year. Same with Lynn McNeil and Jordan Davis. Good year to need a D lineman. Chop Robinson would be kind of fun, but we're good. Like Max Crosby's not regressing. We got our pass rush situation sorted out. There's no crazy linebacker upgrade on the market. Look in the secondary. We're letting Stokes walk, but we're going to trust the young developmental guys. Clearly good enough to win a Super Bowl. So we're just going to chill. Oh, yeah. You know what else we have? A top 10 pick. Thanks, New Orleans. Hope you're enjoying Drew Aller. And I don't think they really are. All right, so for this draft, we have 2 first-round picks. I think if we're looking at BPA in relation to like a couple spots on our roster, I think the 2 positions in need, one is D tackle, and I really like the look of Ben Gibson out of Georgia. 6'5", 295, so a sub 300 pounder. Letter grades are on point. Combine is nuts. Want him. Is he going to go earlier than pick 10? We got to figure out. Because Christian Wilkins is like the first he's on a 1 year regressing. His plays up, but is he going to get another contract with this team? I mean, we got the Super Bowl, so we're only going year 5. So, I'm thinking year 5, Gibson would make sense. Also, Jeremy Chin at safety is like our next kind of oldest player. Unfortunately, the top strong safety is not particularly good. The top free safety looks pretty interesting in Derek Parrish, 6 feet, 210. Decent combine. Like, that'd be a guy that's like, we targeted our pick at the final spot of the first round. So looking at the final mock draft, where's that D tackle going? Shit. I mean, we can call him. What do you want? All right. A 1, a 2, and a future 1 next year. And I felt like to make it challenging, I probably could have thrown in a 2029 first rounder, which is a year that we're not going to do in this rebuild. But I felt to embrace the challenge. I'll throw in my first round next year. Now, actually, I saw some of the comments. We did this in the last rebuild where I traded a lot. And the player that we wanted was already off the board, which was brutal. We trusted the mock draft. But sometimes you should be able to trust the mock draft more often than not. And that's exactly what we were able to do. And we're only making this trade because we won the Super Bowl. If we didn't win the Super Bowl, I'm not trading that amount for anybody that's anything less than a top 5 talent. But Gibson looks so good at the one kind of position I want cover for going into year 5. Number 8 in true value at number 2. But still, he's still a stud. Hidden dev, almost 80 speed, 80 acceleration, 93 strength at D tackle. A beast. Now, of course, we just, the amount of got to keep trade up. Derek Parrish, the safety I wanted, went 28 to the Bears in the first round. So now we're no real further than where we were. Looking for a safety. We have Lucas, second rounder. He was dog shit at the combine. 4.7. Not great. So if we're trying to pick through the weeds, next best. I mean, we got B zone coverage on Julian Nobles. B hit power, complete blind pick, but let's trust it. Shit. Well, first bad pick of our rebuild. So we had no picks this year, but I mean, Nobles 72 normal. I'm not gonna say I've seen a lot worse for my personal standards, but it's not the end of the world. Considering we got a 77 dev trait, one of the best players in the class. I gotta go see though. What did the safety? Only 74. It's only a 2 overall point difference. Of course, Derek Parrish, because he's a little bit more juice, has the dev trait, which confirms like a star or something like that. That was the start year number 4. Can Geno Smith carry the momentum at 37 years old off an iconic year to do it all again? I can't doubt him after what we saw last season. But much like Nick Foles, after Nick Foles had that Super Bowl run, not great after it. And it's time, mid-season year 4, to have a tough conversation. We are 1-6, and it's our defense. I don't want to throw Geno under the bus, but this season, unfortunately, is going absolutely nowhere. And I think even him would be like, you know what? Let's let the young buck close this year out. We're not making the playoffs. Maybe he could spark the run. Maybe he could spark a 11 win, get us to 11-6, 10-7, somewhere in that range, and maybe have a chance to defend our crown. But unfortunately, Geno gave us everything he had left to win that Super Bowl last year. Outside of that, we have $158 million to round out this rebuild. We are going into the final year. We don't have to go any longer, so we're going to move on from Wilkins. I think Parham's solid enough to keep on the line for another 3 years. He's been a success story. We have Colton Miller at tackle. Lock you in for the final year of the rebuild. 22.6 doesn't like that. I bet you we're not close. Bet you we're not far. 23 would probably get that one over the line. I think Jack Bech, great story. We'll keep him on the roster as our wide receiver 3. Darien Porter's been awesome. He already got a Defensive Player of the Week performance this season with a 2-picker, I think on week 2. Chin's going to regress probably pretty harshly this offseason. So I think we signed Jeanty on a 6-year. Who earned it? We'll bring back Colton Miller. The rest of you guys, thank you for your service. You'll always be remembered as Super Bowl champions. Now, I'd hate to say we pissed away a whole season because we did the right thing by letting Geno start. But after going 1-6 with Geno, we go 7-3 with Taylor Green getting his first opportunity to start. So, I mean, at minimum, it gives us a little bit of optimism going into the final year of the rebuild. That maybe we might be able to do something kind of special with Green. We win a lot of big-time games. I honestly, though, think, like, from a performance standpoint, it's not like Green came in and was getting Player of the Week or anything crazy like that. I think the big story is, like, our defense was, when Geno was quarterback, maybe the worst defense in the league. And then we finished with really, really good rankings. So I think it's a correlation of, like, offensively, Green came in, probably played a little bit better than Geno. But our defense got very, very hot to kind of close this season out. I think the stats will reflect that. So Taylor Green, 19 touchdowns, 11 picks, 10-8 for Geno. Like, neither quarterback had a great season. Rushing, we get 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns for Jeanty. J-Mo and Brock Bowers both going over 1,000 yards, which you love to see. Myers has been a really good role player for this offense. Ben Roberts over 100 tackles, 17 sacks. Max Crosby, 12.5 from Dallas Turner, 8.5 from the rookie D-tackle Ben Gibson. 3 from Zane Durant. Gibson's dev trait, just a star, but he got a huge couple weeks ago. Like a 20,000, yeah, there we go, 13,000 XP. But he got 20,000 on the week because he got 15 TFLs in a season and a 5 sack in a season boost. So that was a +5 upgrade to a guy that was already in the 80s. So that is awesome for him going forward as our Christian Wilkins successor. Interception numbers. I think Darien Porter, who just got himself a new contract, probably leads the team. Oh, that's great, though. He got that in 1 week. 2 picks in 1 week, none for the rest of the year. Interception numbers, not... I mean, I haven't really found a defense, a sim defense, that puts up really, really good pick numbers and good to great sack numbers. Which obviously everyone would want that. And, I don't know. Personally, I'd rather always better sack numbers and picks. Award winners. Rams win the Super Bowl. We're going to bring back Geno on a 1 year, but just in the mentorship role to start the offseason. We don't have a first-round pick this year, so if we want to make a big upgrade anywhere on the team, it's going to have to come via free agency, and we're not getting a particularly great free agency class. I need a safety, so we'll see if we can get a roll there. I'm not overly optimistic. Malachi, ooh, I mean, I could live with Malachi Starks, to be honest with you. 5-year 40? Fuck you. I will say I did focus scout some safeties here, and we got value. We have Quan Whitfield out of Bama. Should be a second rounder, 46 player. We have Lockhart, who's also, like, either one of these guys would be fine. I'm not going to avoid our challenge of not having a first round pick, but I will say right now, if Whitfield falls in the second round, let's see where he's going. I absolutely can trade up in the second round to go get him, and I'm going to if he's there. We did not have a first-round pick. Sim to the second round. Whitfield is still there. Titans on the clock with the first pick of the second round. Let's go get it. Because when you look at our roster going into the final year of the rebuild, I mean, again, we don't ever really need that other wide receiver, right? We've been so solid with where we're at. Brock Bowers is our wide receiver 1. Williams is 2. Not going to go crazy for a 3. Other than that, offense good. Defense, Gibson, just a superstar dev guy. Love our corners. We are just down a safety. So it's going to be worth pretty much whatever price Titans want. They're going to hold us over a barrel if they need to, but I want that pick because I want that safety. Cheesed a little bit because I'm giving them a second rounder next year that doesn't really even exist in the context of this rebuild, but 2 second rounders for 1 second rounder, move up 13 spots is fairly expensive. I think I paid a fair price. And with the first pick of the second round, all Bs across the board, combine. I mean, kind of a can't-miss player, being honest with you. Thank you, Tennessee. Ooh, third round, we got Alex Beard, a top 20 player. Not insane, because he's a normal dev role player, but I just want to see, with our lack of depth, I guess, at wide receiver, what we could get. And, cool. Top 20. I mean, he's probably going to be, like low 70s. Nothing crazy, but we'll take it. So take a look at our draft recap. Ooh, Whitfield, 76. Dev trade, 75 on Beard, which is just more of a draft flex than it is, like, contributor. And as you can see, pretty much just drafted about the fact that he was athletic and had A catching. But Whitfield, day 1 starter for us at strong safety. Going to take over for Jeremy Chin. Going to form a hell of a partnership here in year 5 with Caleb Downs. And hopefully with Tylen Green at quarterback, we're going to get one last Super Bowl run. There's our team as we go into year number 5 to get back to a Super Bowl. Our offensive line, I think, will stand up against any offensive line in the NFL. We have the best tight end in the NFL. We have the best running back in the NFL. Our wide receiving core is complimentary, but I'll tell you what, at least we have one of the fastest players in the league to go with one of the more, if not most, athletic quarterback, not named Lamar Jackson in the league. Tylen Green, 6'6", 220, 93 throw power, almost 90-plus speed for an athlete of that size. What do you go last? What do you say, 7-3 as a starter last year? So optimistic. He has all the tools and traits, and he is ready to go. The defensive line is great. That trade to bring Dallas Turner was fantastic. Gibson trading up 2 first-round picks to get a superstar D-tackle last year. Immediate dividends. Linebacking core is on point. We're bringing a young rookie safety to pair with maybe the best young safety in the league in Caleb Downs. I have no worries about our secondary. Porter, Prysock, and McKinney are all very much legitimate players with, I'm pretty sure all of them were part of our Super Bowl team, so they know what it takes to win. Let's see it. Hey, maybe we still got a little bit of that Geno magic with him even being on the team. he'll get Green ready. And we're going to go on a run. Just an update, mid-season. Get my stupid face out of there. 5-1. So Taylor Green is 12-4 as a starter. But finishing year 5, 12-5. Makes you kind of wonder what if we went Taylor Green as our starter the last 2 years. But we are about to finish this whole rebuild without winning the division once, which kind of sucks. Goes to show, like, the magic of what we had year 3. Offensively, good. It's not like we got Taylor Green coming in playing like an MVP. He played well. Defense is one of the best in the league. And we actually have a pretty tough matchup. First round against the Jags. We have a #1 rush. Like, they're pretty much just a better version of us. Looking at the numbers, Jeanty top 3. Look at that. Taylor Green, first year as a starter. 36 touchdowns, 4,000 yards. Did have 18 picks, which is not great. But as far as, like, output, pretty good. 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns for Jeanty. We got almost 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns for J-Mo. Just under 1,000 for Brock Bowers. Jack Bech with 14 touchdowns, stepping into that Jacoby Myers role very nicely. Ben Roberts leads the team in tackles. We get 16.5 sacks. Max Crosby, 12.5 from the D-tackle Gibson. 6 from Durant, 5 from Dallas Turner. Just not the best return on investments. And again, interceptions continue to be a struggle for this team to create those turnovers. Our only award winner goes to Jackson Powers Johnson for getting Lineman of the Year. Good for him. Because we know this is our final year, we'll take a look at our career stats before we begin our playoff journey. Geno Smith, a wild career. How all the ups and downs, like that's just, yeah, I like to think he had some of his best years with us, all things considered. There's Green's numbers. From a running back standpoint, 6,400 yards, 64 touchdowns in 5 seasons for Ashton Jeanty. So well above 10 touchdown, 1,000-yard pace. He's been awesome. Got a running back of the year award and a he didn't win off. Running back of the year, and he did win offensive rookie of the year. So everything expected for Ashton Jeanty. Jameson Williams splitting times between us and the Lions. We got 5,200 yards, 50 touchdowns in 6 seasons for Brock Bowers. Best tight end in the league. Defensively, Max Crosby is sitting on 148 TFLs, 149 sacks, 23.5 for Dallas Turner, 21 for Ben Gibson, 19.5 from Zane Durant. Picks, Darien Porter. What round did they get him in? The 3rd round, 4th round? Started this out of Iowa State, 12 interceptions. He was pretty solid. Like, if anyone was good, it was him. Able to get those turnovers. We got one chance to run it back and get our 2nd Super Bowl of the rebuild. And we have the 10-7 Jacksonville Jaguars, who are very similarly built to us. Fuck. What? In a battle of 2 top 5 defenses, 41-35. It's a final score in Green with 3 picks. Oh, man. See, again, like if we would have started him last year, maybe we would have been able to get this ugly playoff game out of the way. I mean, Jeanty had a huge game. 100 yards, hat trick of touchdowns. Defensively. Oh, my God. Ate us alive, dude. Oh, Jeremy Chin. So, unfortunately, kind of a wet fart to end the rebuild, but I'd trade that every other week for the magic that we got in year 3 with Geno Smith in the run that we went on. You know, year 4 and year 5 of this rebuild had a sacrifice for the epicness of year 3. Which I will remember for every rebuild. For the remainder, at least, of this year. Be like, oh, well, every sick season, every sick breakout we have is going to be, is that cooler than what we did with Geno Smith when we did our offseason rebuild of the Raiders? I think that probably will stand the test of time pretty well as we close out our Madden 25 rebuilds. Well, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Which team should we rebuild next for our offseason rebuild? I saw a lot of people saying the Giants. I mean, a lot of people that are doing rebuilds right now after the draft have done the Giants. Seen the Saints as another one. Tyler Shuck. We could get to that one as well. But I will do the most requested in the comment section below, as this Raiders team was the most requested in our Jags rebuild. We've also rebuilt the Jags and the Cleveland Browns for offseason rebuild. So if you haven't checked those out, go do so. If it is your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed, and comment what team you want to see next. Those little things help out the channel, help out the videos with the YouTube robots. And that is a battle that we take on every single day here on the channel. And that'll do it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you had a great weekend. And until next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace. I love ya.